Hey guys, this is Astronomical Thoughts, and in this video, I'm going to discuss the dangers of going to Mars. There are three major dangers to the human body if we are to travel to Mars. The first one being the several changes in gravity. Astronauts will feel the change in gravity as they go from experiencing normal gravity on Earth to weightlessness in space. And they will feel weightlessness during their entire journey to Mars, but on Mars they will experience 1/3 of the gravity of Earth. Going through these different gravities can have a major impact on an astronaut's body. Astronauts can feel motion sickness, and their balance, hand-eye, and head-eye coordination can all be impacted, and this can be extremely dangerous if you have to land a spacecraft on Mars. Being in zero gravity can also cause bone loss, as your bones will lose minerals. The rate of bone loss of an elderly person on Earth is around 1% per year. In space, that bone loss rate goes to 1% per month. Being in zero gravity does not require our body to work as hard, as it is not fighting gravity as it normally does on Earth. So if astronauts don't exercise regularly, they can lose endurance, muscle strength, and experience their hearts getting weak. On Earth, your blood experiences gravity and naturally goes to your legs and feet, and your heart has to spend a lot of effort trying to pump blood from your legs and feet to your head so your entire body gets blood flow. But as soon as you go into space, you feel zero gravity and the blood is not being pulled down to your legs. And so your heart has to do less work trying to pump blood throughout your entire body. And this actually causes your heart to become more round in space. It becomes an issue once you return to Earth and the gravity starts pulling blood to the lower part of your body again. And in zero gravity, as blood in your body moves upwards to your head, it exerts pressure on your eyes and can cause them to swell from the back, and this can cause problems with your vision as well. The second danger to the human body is isolation and confinement. Astronauts are expected to live and work in extremely cramped space for long periods of time. Being confined and isolated in a small space and being far away from Earth can cause behavioral issues such as depression, decline in morale, interpersonal interaction, cognitive ability, and decline in mood. Not being exposed to the typical rhythm of day and night can also cause astronauts to develop sleep disorder. The footage shown here is of the International Space Station, and majority of the time astronauts only spend up to 6 months on the International Space Station. But just getting from Earth to Mars will take around 8 months, while the total journey lasting around 3 years. So these behavioral and psychiatric disorders will only get worse from what we have experienced to this date from our time in the International Space Station. If astronauts are crammed in a small space, bacteria can spread more easily. Due to the space environment, astronauts' stress hormone levels may increase and their immune system might change, and all of this can increase the chances of getting illnesses or allergies. And Mars is really far away. On average, the distance from Earth to the Moon is 0.24 million miles, and distance from Earth to Mars is 140 million miles. And once astronauts are on Mars, if they try to contact Earth, the signal could be delayed for up to 20 minutes. So the signal can take around 20 minutes to reach Earth. And so if there's a problem that requires immediate solution, astronauts cannot ask scientists on Earth for help, because if astronauts on Mars send a message to Earth, it can take 20 minutes, and then it will take time for scientists on Earth to try to solve the problem, and then it will take another 20 minutes for their message to reach the astronauts on Mars. So astronauts really have to depend on themselves and each other for support, whether it be technical, behavioral, or personal. And in case of equipment failure, there may not be any communication between Mars and Earth at all, and in that case, the astronauts will truly be isolated from Earth. And the third danger is space radiation, and this is perhaps what might cause the most danger to astronauts during their journey to Mars. There are two kinds of space radiation that scientists are worried about. The first being the radiation emitted by the sun through charged particles. On Earth, we're protected from these particles because the Earth's magnetic field deflects these particles. But on the way to Mars, and on Mars as well, there won't be a magnetic field similar to that of Earth. The second kind of radiation is cosmic rays. This radiation comes from explosions of massive stars. Humans have not experienced the radiation exposure that a trip to Mars will involve. The closest we have gotten is during our trips to the moon. Although these trips exposed astronauts to similar radiation, but these trips only lasted for a maximum of 12 days, and just traveling from Earth to Mars will take 8 months. So what can space radiation do to the human body? It can damage your central nervous system, increase your chances of developing a cancer, cause behavioral changes, decrease motor function, and change your cognitive function. Space radiation may also lead to radiation sickness. This can cause vomiting, anorexia, nausea, and fatigue. You could also develop cardiac diseases. So needless to say, space is really dangerous for humans, but we're slowly learning about the effects and working on the solutions. One of the main reasons for developing the International Space Station was to do exactly that. Scientists are keeping track of health of astronauts that have lived on the International Space Station to see if the negative effects of space go away after astronauts return to Earth, or are these negative effects permanent? NASA is planning on sending humans to the moon in 2024, and this will improve our understanding of the dangers that the human body experiences in space and will prepare us for the journey to Mars, and NASA hopes to do that by early 2030s. That's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care.
I'm going to step off the limb now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.